I'm an analyst, and I'm on a mission to train the financial analysts of the future. I recently heard people say that the job of a financial analyst is a dying breed. I've also heard people say that this generation is not good at applying logic and reason. I want to prove that wrong. My name is Andrew Stotson. I studied finance and after graduating, went to work in manufacturing at Pepsi in Los Angeles. I enjoyed the company, the people, and the job, but there was something that was not quite fulfilled in my life. I studied my MBA thinking that that would bring me fulfillment. It definitely brought me a lot of knowledge, but not fulfillment. In 1992, I decided to move to Bangkok, Thailand, to try something hard and different. I took an 80% pay cut to teach finance in a Thai university. I was truly starting from scratch as I had $2,000 in my pocket and $20,000 of student loan debt. After 1 year as a university lecturer in finance, I realized that teaching full-time was not for me. I wanted more action in the business world. By 1993, the Thai stock market was booming. So I sent out my resume to some job posts that I saw in the newspaper. I walked in to interview with my stock market expert boss, John, and he hired me on the spot. I can still remember the first day sitting down at my desk at 6 a.m. in a tiny office, in a tiny building in beautiful Bangkok. On that morning, I felt that I had found the job that was right for me. I felt that I was born to be an analyst. Over the decades, I went on to be voted a #1 analyst, to become a head of research at various investment banks, and to achieve my proudest moment in my career, which was to be elected president of CFA Society Thailand. But what I learned over those years is that being an analyst is a state of mind, not a job description. You see, an analyst is not a fund manager, though if they wanted to be, they could be. An analyst is not a lawyer, though they could be if they wanted to do that career. An analyst is not a doctor, though the skills of an analyst could be applied to become a doctor. And an analyst is not a CFO, though your financial skills could be applied there. The skills of a great analyst is to analyze information and draw conclusions. Of course, financial analysts need a strong foundation in reading financial statements, building Excel models, and understanding the stock market. But they also must have the skill of interviewing people, from CEOs to customers. They must have this skill of listening to both sides of the story. As my mother used to say, there's always two sides to every story. But more importantly, upon the conclusion of your analysis of the situation, the job of an analyst is to decide which side is most right. Kind of like being a judge. Now, this is the ultimate conclusion that you need to draw, because as a financial analyst, you then recommend that people put their hard-earned money down on what you think is the likely outcome. Is this stock a buy or a sell? Is the stock market going to race up or crash down? And your conclusions to these questions are critical to the wealth of your client. If you're a bad analyst or you've done bad analysis, you could lose people a lot of money. The point is that the job of a financial analyst is not about just reinforcing your opinion. It's about trying to predict the outcome that is most likely to happen. You're trying to predict the behavior of other people. You're trying to predict the perception of the stock market. The ultimate challenge of the analyst is to step back from your personal opinion. In fact, you only invest, if you only invested in your personal opinion and recommended that others follow your investment recommendation based upon your personal opinion about who's going to win this election or which product should win out, you're destined to fail. A great analyst knows that their job is to try to predict the outcome based upon the evidence they've gathered. Now, though I have taught finance at university now in my free time for 30 years, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I was just teaching information combined with my experience. In fact, for anybody who has been teaching, you know that by teaching, you learn a ton. Just preparing lectures teaches you so much. But what I've learned over the years is that I want to transform people's lives. I want to train people to become an analyst. And that's what we do in the Valuation Master Class. I put everything I have learned about what it takes to become a successful analyst in this program. But my ultimate goal is to help one young person who feels lost in their search for the right career, just like I felt. I want them to find that right job and to proudly be able to say, I am an analyst.